Hello, Rebel, and welcome back to my life. Let's talk about something that I'm sure is going to go great. And by the way, today's video is going to be a little bit quick because it's VEDA. I've been getting real bad 2016 vibes so far in 2020. 2020 so far has a lot of things that just kind of seem like 2016. 2016 didn't have a parallel to COVID-19, so that's a big difference, but I do feel like we're starting out the year with like a higher number of celebrity deaths than is normal, and of course there is politics and an election that's happening and a lot of divisiveness that's happening because of both of those things. And so, again, just like in 2016 and the election that was happening during that time, I feel the need to make a quick video about socialism or anti-capitalism in general and racism. The video that I made back then is one of my most viewed videos ever, where I talked about Bernie Sanders supporters who were really going after black people online, attacking them a whole lot over the fact that they weren't necessarily the most supportive of Sanders, and that a lot of black people were criticizing him for reducing issues of racism to socialism or economics instead. And I said back then, and I maintain that that is a fair criticism. Sanders is a pretty cool candidate, like him a lot. But when speaking about issues that relate specifically to race and racism, he does have a habit of sort of pivoting right back to economics, as though solving economic problems is going to solve racism, which it's not. Even with that being the case, though, my video was not about Bernie Sanders, and I feel the need to say that again because it went way over a lot of people's heads last time. And I know that me saying this now is not going to matter because it's going to go over people's heads this time too. My video is about his supporters, the Bernie Bros, as they're known. The people who go online and get real angry and real shouty and real nasty towards anybody who is not 100% supportive of Bernie Sanders and who levels even the most mild of critiques at him. And I am seeing another trend, another pattern of this sort of thing starting to happen a little bit, specifically when people are starting to talk about economic issues and issues of public good, public welfare, and like taking care of the country as a whole. The most clear-cut example that I saw recently was a post on Tumblr, and I'm not going to link it. I'm not trying to like shame anybody or like drive anybody to go attack this person, right? But they were talking about a bunch of social justice talking points that were good and valid, but weren't accurate. It listed a bunch of ways that late-stage capitalism is objectively and clearly harming people. A lot of people, a lot of the time. And that is true. But it listed some issues as being matters of capitalism or class conflict when they're actually about racism. For example, the post said that the concept of the welfare queen is a capitalist creation designed to attack poor people. That is not true. That is 100% not true. That was a term invented by Reagan during the Reagan era to attack black people. That's what it is. That's what it was. And it is in line with a bunch of other Republican strategies during that time that were designed to obliquely attack not poor people, but to attack black people. Most of you have probably heard the discussion by Lee Atwater, a political campaigner who described the exact way in which Nixon's Southern Strategy campaign evolved their language from N-word, N-word, N-word to talking about busing and welfare and all of these other things that sound economic, but are actually targeting black people. That's what that comes from. I mean, yes, it overlaps with capitalism and with economic inequality, but it's racism. And another example was that the post said that overpopulation and that whole concept is a capitalist myth. It's not. It's a racist myth. Yes, it would also target the poor and working class and people in poverty if we were to enable eugenics measures to reduce overpopulation. Of course, it would, but it's racist in origin. So why am I bothering to bring this up? Well, when we are in a election or any setting or time period where we're talking about politics and just things in general, social justice, things that we want to fix in the world, what we see is wrong with the world and what we want to do about it, it is really important for a number of reasons to be clear and accurate in what we're talking about. Because as we discovered in 2016, if you try to reduce racism to purely economic factors, you don't get marginalized communities on board with you because it really looks like you're ignoring what they're saying and what actual problems they're facing. Whether your policies would benefit them in the short term or the long term is irrelevant, because right now you're campaigning. You are trying to form an alliance, and an alliance doesn't work when you say, hey, your issue, let's put that aside for now and pursue my issue and my agenda, which will benefit you anyway. That's not how you make friends. That's not how you build political coalitions. And it's just, I really feel like that's a lesson that I wish we'd all learned in 2016. But unfortunately, I don't feel like we have. Sanders is a lot better about these things specifically than he used to be. But he is still not doing well with minorities across the country. And people want to say, oh, it's the DNC establishment. And yeah, the Democratic Party wants to pick the person that they are going to nominate and everything like that. And they are doing some things that are not necessarily above board. Yes, 100%. But to call Black people the establishment and say that they are unfairly persecuting Bernie Sanders is not good. Don't do that. Please just don't do that. You're playing into a lot of real bad stereotypes, a lot of really racist rhetoric that you are just finding yourself accidentally in line with, okay? There is so much to criticize and fix in capitalism. We need to knock off the harmful ways in which it exacerbates income inequality and makes a lot of people's lives worse. But we can't do that by pretending that every problem in the world is based on capitalism versus another economic ideology. Because if you're taking other people's issues that they are facing on a daily basis, that they know is affecting their community and that they need help trying to solve, and you say, right, but that's not what's really going on. What's really going on is capitalism. Those people are just never going to be your allies because you're being shitty. So there you go. Just a cheerful little Saturday video for you all. Have fun in the comments, everyone. That's all I've got for you today, Rebel. Hey, my YouTube channel is possible because of my amazing and incredible supporters on Patreon. If you want to be one of those awesome and incredibly attractive individuals, I would really appreciate the support. Link in the description and on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for another day of VEDA. Bye!